Hey guys, HH Trogdor here, signing in with a bunch of reveals for none other than Universal's Halloween Horror Nights 24, and then one for Hollywood. Sorry I didn't get to this sooner, just haven't had a lot of time over the past week to get to this. I know one or two of these are going to be kind of old, but the rest of this all just got revealed yesterday. So, first thing I want to talk about is Dracula Untold. It's been confirmed to be coming to our events on both coasts. So here's kind of what they're talking about. They're excited to bring forth to us Dracula, or this all-new house, in Halloween Horror Nights 24 of Dracula Untold. The film comes out on October 17th, but you can experience a living preview of it at Halloween Horror Nights starting September 19th. So this is going to be similar to how they did The Wolfman and how they did The Thing, and both in 2009 and 2011. So it'll be interesting to see. This house takes you through the terrifying origin of the man who becomes Dracula. Each room contains gothic scenes that highlight Vlad the Impaler's transition into the bloodthirsty creature. As you enter the house, you'll see firsthand the frightening cave that Dracula first emerged from on his path to damnation. The house becomes especially eerie as you progress through a destroyed village and into the woods on the way to Dracula's foreboding castle. In the final scene, you'll come face to face with Dracula's victims, those who were impaled and who begged to be saved before they took their last breath. Each turn in this new house presents a horrifying experience straight out of the movie, including the war between Dracula and the attacking Turks. Dracula is here, and his thirst for blood is never ending. No prisoners will be spared this year at Halloween Horror Nights 24. Will you make it out alive? Now, to me, I am very excited for all of that. There's been a lot of negative attention given to this house, which I cannot possibly understand why. To me, this sounds just as good as any of the IPs that we're getting for the most part, and can be just as promising. This sounds just as good as the original content we're getting as well. I think a lot of people saw the trailer for the movie and they're thinking that's what it's going to be. Well, more people like the Wolfman and the Thing maze than they like the movies, and both of those houses were excellent. So I can't really say either way how it is or isn't going to be, but from the description that I've read, I'm a really big gothic horror fan, and to me what they've done is they've taken a script of what the script for Dracula Untold. I think when they filmed it, they wanted to direct it more towards I guess fantasy action, and Horror Nights took the script and they're just like, okay, we've got what we can use, and now we're going to take this and this is what it's based on, and we're going to flip it on its head and we're going to make it horror. It's a concept. It's going to be Dracula. It's going to be gothic horror, and there's going to be violence out the ass, and it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to seeing maybe the return of some of those flyover characters like we had in Gothic with Batso in that Battle of the Turks. I'm excited for it. So, but now for the thing that you guys are all waiting for, the original content that was released yesterday. Yes, the original content. Now, on the Orlando blog posted this huge long thing, so I'm just going to try to read off the bullet note points. The first one, which would be in one of our tents, is Dollhouse of the Damned. The word to keep in mind here is juxtaposition. When you walk into the house, you find yourself in this old-time morgue, but this little girl has set up shop, and now it's her playhouse. She's torturing people in there, so you're taking the sweetness of the dollhouse and childhood and combining it with something completely sinister. That theme remains throughout the maze. Another phrase we use is forced integration. You'll see characters with porcelain doll masks that have been smashed into their faces, and now they're permanent. They're victims of this twisted amalgamation. It's really creepy. And then he keeps on, the guy that keeps on describing that there's some of the things that they're like one of the screwed up things in the house. Apparently there's a room full of baby cribs that are messed up babies with buff bodies, and they're creeping around. So it sounds pretty interesting. The next house is called Giggles and Gore Inc. This is our house that it will be in the Disaster Queue, the rumored clown house. So he said, so we asked ourselves, where do evil clowns come from? And we discovered evil clowns are not born. They're made. It's an actual process. We all know that there are countless unsolved disappearances across the country. Where do these people end up? In the clown factory, being stretched, smashed, and eviscerated. Faces are peeled off and voice boxes are torn out. Victims are dropped into a wood chipper, and the gunk that comes out is shoved into other people to create these massive, nasty, stuffed clowns. Towards the end, you encounter the most evil of all evil clowns, the Discarded. These are the surviving clowns that have been cast down for being too dangerous to exist, even with other evil clowns. I wonder what other evil clowns we'll be seeing among these Discarded clowns. Could be interesting. This one's really not going too high on my radar. I'm not a huge clown house person. The clowns scare me personally. But there's just a lot of rumors I'll talk about in a minute why I may not be so excited for this. The other original house, the Roanoke Cannibal Colony. The year was 1587. It was one of the first settlements of the colonial era. The people living here were expecting supplies from Europe, but there was a war going on, so they couldn't make the voyage. 3 years later, when the supply ship finally arrived, everyone was gone, except the deranged cannibals who'd managed to survive by eating their fellow settlers. As a guest, you're fighting your way through this chaotic gauntlet of flesh-hungry man-eaters. What's cool about the set is that Karen, our decor guru, has traveled up to Virginia and brought us some pictures of actual what the settlement may have looked like. So the scenery you're observing is realistic looking. There's also an underarching theme of the Wendigo. I think that's a Wendigo. The spirit of Wendigo is something much more sinister. It's actually a mythical Native American creature that curses all those who ingest human flesh. These people have snapped, and they have to somehow justify their cannibalism. They think they're being possessed by the Wendigo spirit. They start eating their own mouths. They've chewed away their lips. They've just completely lost it. And he also hints that there may be a little surprise at the end of the maze. Now, to anybody that watches Hannibal, for an instance, about wondering what maybe a Wendigo is, well, the envision so that Will sees whenever he envisions Hannibal Lecter as the Shrike, that is of a Wendigo. There's a lot of things. Wendigos, there's a lot of things with antlers. Sometimes they have a deer look to them. A lot of other things are like abominable snowman-ish, kind of ape-like. It'll be interesting to see if they will play on some of these, I guess, urban legends of what the Wendigo would look like, if that is going to be in the house at all, which I pray to God it will be, because that would be the apex of awesome and make this my favorite original house of the year. Now, then they go on, and it wasn't just houses. It is also our other two scare zones that have been unveiled. So they go and talk to Laura Wallace, and pretty much what gets told about is that they've unveiled the other two street experiences. The Bayou of Blood. Our high priestess is crazy evil and in a trance, doing numerous spells and sacrifices to get the ultimate power in her, because she has made these sacrifices, and many other voodoo practitioners in the area come and they're squatting outside of her shack. They feel if they make sacrifices to her, they will get some of her power when she makes the ultimate sacrifice. So this maze, what I'm talking about, the scare zone, some of the things that they talk about that are in here, there's going to be a live human sacrifice. Something that we haven't seen since Halloween Horror Nights 15 with Terror Queen. So very excited to see how that's going to work. And it sounds like there will be some cool thematic set pieces, a cool voodoo shack. So maybe a walkthrough experience like we had last year with The Walking Dead. I'm excited to see that. This is going to be over by the Central Park area, so I'm assuming that whole Central Park area is just going to be taken over with voodoo and shit like that. So really cool. Looking forward to that. But yeah, that sounds really cool to me. Let's see. The other one is called Masquerade Unstitched. The whole concept is that these people are trapped in an old time period. Their skin is falling off. They have stitched their skin back to their faces, but much of it is still peeling off. What I love about the concept is that it is like you're entering this really surreal dance, but it's very terrifying at the same time. There's a wax holding their skin on. Some are sewing their skin back on, but they're doing it very poorly. And there are some whose skin is still detached. So this is like a Victorian era. This is rumored to be in the Causeway of the Stars or whatever, right at the front of the park before you enter the Hollywood area. So we're going to have a lot of activity in the front of the park, which brings me up to a concern. I'm not going to rank everything, and not everything's been released yet. And I did the same thing in my Halloween video. I'm not ranking anything yet of what I'm anticipating and what I'm not anticipating, and I won't do multitude of videos. I'll just do one long video of all of it for when everything is fully revealed, which may be sooner than we think. But I am concerned about the back of the park. Last year with The Walking Dead, I was happy that we did have Chainsaw Drill Team. Typically stood in the back of the park. They roamed around, but they would stay in San Francisco, and they were also back with Men in Black. And then also we had the camp, which went all the way back in front of animal actors for Walking Dead. Now, a lot of you I know hated The Walking Dead, but I actually really liked The Walking Dead. I thought it was a great success. As far as the thematic and Scarezone, there was so much that they did within it. I know there was people that complained about dead spots, but to me, I am more worried about dead spots in this year than I am about last year. I'm hoping that there will be some added, maybe some roaming hordes or something, maybe something outside of the clown maze or something like that. But I'm generally concerned about that. I feel like that everything from San Francisco all the way to the tent houses and where Roanoke's going to be, which is in the parade building, it's just going to be, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. I'm deeply concerned about how that's going to play out. I don't know how that works as far as, because everyone talks about the big rumor that J.K. Rowling will not let anything happen in front of there when it's been confirmed that no one has asked, and that in fact there's also a rumor that J.K. Rowling would actually like her works to be included, but the Universal will not do it because they do not want to harm their brand new equipment, which I can understand. If there's a similar agreement or anything going on with the Simpsons area, that's all brand new. The whole back of the park's got a lot more new stuff than the front does, so I'm wondering if that's a general concern or not. But there needs to be something more in the back. Last year and the year before that, the whole back of the park, it just always feels empty. It's felt empty since 2011 was my first year, and it felt pretty full. There was like 2 scare zones back there, and which was nice. I never felt outside of the event, and I'm worried about feeling outside of the event this year. So I know I've extended this video longer than I probably needed to or wanted to, but I wanted to voice that concern and get some people talking about what they're anticipating. Maybe they've changed their opinion on what houses they're anticipating or not. Again, I will post a video with my most anticipated houses with my reasons why very soon. As soon as we get our last review, I'll put that video up. So cool. This is pretty much the full reveal, except we have one more house left. So really interesting, guys. This is it. This is this clutch. This is right here. This is the end. So. Sage Trogdor signing out, and I hope you enjoyed this extremely long video of me announcing houses 4, 5, 6, and 7 for Halloween Horror Nights 24 in Orlando. Oh, and before I forget, all you Hollywood fans, congratulations on getting our house from last year, An American Werewolf in London. I hear great things. I watched the interview with John Landis and Mike and Chris at Scarezone, and it seems like they're going to give as much, if not more, attention and detail to this house than we did. So nothing but good things for you. I'm hoping that it'll be just as good as we had it. I know you guys are having an intent, but that shouldn't take anything away from it. So congratulations all around. Halloween Horror Nights is going on and looking very strong on both coasts, and it's looking like it's going to be a lot of fun. So until next time, guys, this is Trogdor signing out, and I hope you guys have a good rest of the day. Later. Prodigia comploratus